Yo, what is going on, guys? Winner Kills here, and welcome to a brand new locals feature match. Happy Saturday. Hopefully you guys are having a good day and all that goodness. I've got locals today. Wish me luck. And my friend Adam here definitely needed some luck there. Looks like both my friends almost needed some luck there. Snake roll, snake eyes dice roll coming from my friend Adam there. And my friend Joe on the right beating it just by a slim margin there. So we do have the Rikka Sunavalon deck versus the Tri-Brigade Spright deck. My friend Adam's been, back and forth on a bunch of different decks lately. Spright, Tier, the Rikka Sunavalon Plant Technique. My friend Joe on the right has been on this Tri-Spright build for a couple weeks now. Probably ever since Power of the Elements came out. So my friend Adam is a little new to the plant deck. I think this is like he'd only played the deck maybe like 3 or 4 times in tournament. Like maybe 3, I want to say. So yeah, hope you guys are going to enjoy this one. We're going to see Spright lead off with starter for blue into jet into the gigantic Spright. The gigantic Spright will resolve, bringing out a copy of red. And so far, no normal summon committed. I was just about to say, wait for it. There's the kit, linking the kit and the gigantic into the elf. And then we're going to see elf, well, not elf effect, but kit effect to go ahead and activate to send a Nerval. Nerval is going to go ahead and add a fractal. So far, so good. Going to be able to revive the kit with the elf, if he so desires, to be able to get that Tri-Brigade engine rolling. Of course, he is locked, though, into level 2s and link 2s and rank 2s via Spright starter and gigantic. So he won't be able to go for an Appaloosa, but necessarily won't need to. So we're going to see the elf revive the kit. And we're going to see the kit summon out a Farragut, and then Farragut effect can go ahead and summon one out from the hand. It's going to bring out another copy of Crass, which also again happens to be level 2. We'll see him link off the kit and the Farragut into Bearbrum. He'll draw one, put one back, and then link off the Bear and the Crass. Probably into Pit Knight early here, or he could go for a double Dragon Lords. But before he goes any further, he's going to go ahead and use the effect of Crass to banish 2 to get the double Dragon Lords on board, and then we're probably going to see the Pit Knight early. So yeah, why not go for both if you have the opportunity to do so, and then we'll get Bearbrum effect to go ahead and search. Now, Pit Knight early, really nice little tech card out of Power of the Elements, I believe it came out of. And I think it involves a effect based on, if something that it points to activates effect, right? When a monster this card points to activates its effects, except during the damage type, quick effect, you can target one effect monster your opponent controls until the end of the turn. Change the attack to 0, also negates effects. So right now, Pit Knight early is not pointing to anything, so that might have been a little bit of a misplay there. That probably definitely was a little bit of a misplay, the zoning on that, because the Pit Knight early is not pointing to anything. So you won't get the extra interruption, but we're going to see him pass turn there. One set being revealed, obviously the other set unknown, probably Imperm or maybe Called By, since my man Joe always is strapped with a Called By. But we're going to see my friend Adam here lead with the Imperm, and I believe this is going to be on the Elf. It has to be on the Elf, since anything it points to right now cannot be targeted as per Elf's effect. We're going to see him chain the Elf to that, though, to go ahead and bring out a blue. And then blue is going to go ahead and search a jet for follow-up. We're going to see my friend Adam start with Unexpected Die on the after resolving the Imperm, the resolution of the blue. So this right here can lead to basically full plant combo. Could also technically be an OTK over some very, very small monsters. If you have, literally just Unexpected Die as an OTK. And if you have any other level 4 or lower plant, it's even easier to OTK. So looks like we will see the red negate the Dryas. And since it sent off a link 2, it can destroy the Dryas. So it will not allow him to search there of the Sowing. We're going to see him activate a copy of the Rikka Glamour. And that is going to go ahead and eat an Ash Blossom. And then we're going to see a Mystic Mine get slapped down. Looks like in response, we're going to go ahead and see DDL activate, bouncing it, and we'll just see him reactivate the Mystic Mine, because, yeah. And then we're going to see him pass turn after setting one, which I believe is Rivalry of the Warlords. Now, we're not going to see a deck out strategy here. I don't think really that's the purpose of mine in the Rikka deck. If you do decide to play it, I think that's definitely the purpose of mine in other decks that are designed to like deck people out with Mystic Mine. But I think in this case, the one thing I like about the interaction of Mystic Mine, I know that sounds weird to say, but the fact that this deck can oftentimes turn off mine at will with a card like Rikka Petal is really, really cool. So it's kind of acting like, I think somebody made this analogy earlier today when I was reading some comments saying that how Mystic Mine is like sometimes used as a Swords of Revealing Light on steroids, just to pass a few turns to try to gain a little bit of card advantage. I mean, yes, it can be used in more of a frustrating way than that. You know, both players are drawing a lot of cards here, and just trying to get to a point where you feel like you can go into the board. And looks like we're going to see him activate a Terraforming here. And like the couple times that I've played Mystic Mine and Rikka and used it, it's never been a form of deck out, although it definitely can be in some instances. A lot of times you're using it to buy a couple turns. And I think that's the smart thing to do, because eventually you don't want to play that game for too long, because a lot of people are super, super hyper aware of mine at this point with how the past couple of events have gone. You can't afford to let them draw the out. You got to, you know, be able to make the call of when it's time to actually get rid of your own mine. In this case, we can easily out it with something like Con. And you will go ahead and summon Mudan over the Double Dragon Lords. Attempt to search here. So feeling though is he's confident enough to try to go into this board now, removing his own mine. And once that Mudan eats an Imperm, we're going to see him go ahead and use the other effective Con here to go ahead and set a Rikka spell or trap while he controls a Rikka monster. So he's going to go ahead and opt to set the Rikka Glamour and then activate Glamour, tributing off the Mudan. So this is normally a, you know, search of any Rikka, but since you tributed a monster at the activation requirement, you get to add an additional plant the same level but different name as the Rikka monster that you added. So I'll add Petal. And then since he tributed, you can also add Sunseed Genius Loki, since they are both level 1s, and they both have different names, obviously. So now you kind of have the luxury to either do Sunavalon plays, or you can continue to do, you know, Rikka plays. And even if you play like Snowdrop, which I think is standard for most lists, I think the card is definitely like mandatory, at least at one copy. I've been experimenting with 2. But you can search a card like Snowdrop, tribute over the Petal, and then bring out your Loki that way. And if you have Princess in hand, it's just kind of like protected Sunavalon combo from a hand trap, which is nice. Insulates you from the hand traps. And with Rivalry already being on the field, you're kind of already insulated from Nibiru. But we're going to see a second Imperm, right? It's not like our opponent hasn't been drawing a bunch of cards in the process while mine has been up, so they could be drawing into hand traps. If they're drawing into engine cards, it's whatever, but they also have the possibility of drawing into hand traps and other interruptions, multiple Imperms, etc., etc. And especially once they break the mine, right, then it's like a little bit more risky, because how many interruptions did they draw into, right? But looks like we're going to see end phase go here, and we're going to see Revolt happen. So he's got to go ahead and respect the Rivalry here and, you know, be conscious of what he decides to bring back. And we're going to see him go ahead into the Shureg, which I want to see if Shureg... Well, I actually think the Imperm was activated in the same column of the Rivalry, because there's no way that all those monsters he brought back were Wing Beasts, so... Because Shureg is a Wing Beast, so I'm assuming there was an Imperm activated in that column there while I was commentating on other things, thus allowing him to be able to break that Rivalry lock, allowing him to summon back whatever he needs to be able to get access to Shureg. He's going to try to banish the Petal, but he will chain Snow Princess to negate that, because the Petal's not a card you don't want, like, you necessarily don't want it banished because of its end phase effect. So he'll tribute that off his cost and shuffle the Princess back into the deck, so it does stay in the grave. Now you're putting the pressure on your opponent to be able to try to go for a game here, or put up a really, really hard to crack board, right, and hope that they can't crack it. But with Rivalry now being in effect, now that the turn has passed, it's going to be a little bit harder to do. Can only work with Winged Beasts. And I believe the only Winged Beast Tri-Brigade is Nerval. Outside of that, something like a second Shureg, I'm not sure what else he can summon besides maybe Doom Eagle. But he will just go Battle Phase, swing for 3k, and end phase, since he did get rid of that Petal and dodge the Shureg. he will be able to bring it back in the end phase, and we're going to see a called by drawn for turn here. So basically having your normal summon come out for free during your opponent's end phase is really strong. Who would have thought? Especially when it's going to search you something like Snowdrop, which can go over the Sure Egg here, which can bring out the Loci, and I think he already has another Princess in hand with triple Tactics talent, so prepared for any other form of interruption right now, prepared for hand traps. Definitely can play through quite a bit of them. So we'll go over top the Sure Egg for the Snowdrop. Snowdrop will bring out itself and Loci, and then we're going to see him use Sure Egg effect, and then triple Tactics talent is going to go in. Looking at the opponent's entire hand here to see what kind of interruptions they have, what's their follow-up. And he does have a copy of Psyframe Gear Gamma, so you kind of got to go ahead and get rid of that. He does have quite a bit of follow-up in the form of Tri-Brigade names and Spright names, but, you know, with Rivalry being on field and just how good, like, in general, Rikka is at putting up good forms of removal with Sheet and Con and Teardrop, you really don't care too much about the rest of those cards. You can deal with them pretty easily with the engine, like I said. We're going to see him link off the Loci into Dryas now, and then we're going to see him activate Dryas effect, and we're going to see that called by. I told you guys it was in the backline. My man Joe's always strapped with called by, and he will go ahead and hit that other Dryas that is in the graveyard right now, denying that search of the Sunvine Sowing. Just a really, really strong card. It's a card I've played at 1 for a while. I know some people have played 2. I've now been moving to 2 after the Euros list. And as of late, I gotta say I am a pretty big fan of it. Never thought I really would be, but I do like it quite a bit for the time being. And I think I'll keep playing it going forward. So we're gonna see him link the Princess and the Dryas into Jasmine. Jasmine effect will go ahead and tribute off the Petal to go ahead and summon out Mudan. And then we can see him activate the Mudan effect here to go ahead and search the Rikka Sheet, which is basically like Widow Anchor, but also tributing an opponent's monster at the same time as taking one of theirs and, in quotes, negating it. Because it doesn't negate on when an effect is activated, it just targets a monster, and that monster cannot have its effects activated by either player for the rest of the turn. So if it's something that doesn't like activate on summon, like Xiamen or Petal or any Tri-Brigade name, really strong against that, but things that like activate on summon, not super strong against. So we're going to see him go ahead and search the Sheet. And then I believe he just set off of the Con, which might have been a Glamour. Yeah, so he did set the Glamour. And then we're going to see him go ahead and search 2. And you can see the Cactus Bouncer there in the main deck. We're going to see him go ahead and grab Primula and a copy of Cactus Bouncer. He'll special summon Primula since a monster he controls was tributed, meeting its trigger, kind of like Gazelle and Sign Up Mining. It does see that tribute as it gets rid of the Jasmine. And here you can go ahead and, since he's kept that Snowdrop on field, he can target itself to make all plants he currently controls become level 8. Or he can target the Primula to make them all level 4 for a Strana play. We're just going to go for Teardrop, normal summon the Cactus Bouncer, and swing in for 28 and 18. Now, for those that don't know what Cactus Bouncer does, it says, cannot be special summoned, first of all, that's very important. Can't be special summoned off things like Teardrop. And the other thing is that while you control another plant monster, neither player can special summon. So that's going to be really difficult with Rivalry up, with the Con up, with the Sheet, and the Teardrop. Going to be a very hard board to break there without a board-breaking card. Even then, you got to still worry about Rivalry, and you also have to worry about the Princess in the graveyard, too. That's still a couple interruptions through Dark Ruler, which is really strong. Into game 2 here, quick shout out to Imperium Duelists again, link below, and discount code, and don't forget to check out my affiliate link for TCG Player, also in the description, if you guys want to look for alternative ways to support the channel. So we will see our Tri-Brigade Duelist start with Karis pitching Kit. Kit will go ahead and dump the Nerval, and then we'll activate the Karis effect, banishing both the Nerval and the Kit to go ahead and special summon out 2. Going to go for Bearbrum. And right now we're going to see an interesting little play here. It does have a level 2 and a link 2, so we can go to Overlay for Gigantic Spright. I gotta say, these Spright cards are starting to feel a lot like Orcust cards at the end of the day, which is kind of crazy how splashable they've become. And I kind of really didn't foresee this because I didn't look into like all level 2s and link 2s and rank 2s when the deck was getting announced and stuff like that. But really cool to see how it's like evolving now. Like, that's a really interesting line. Just, you know, Karis pitching Kit gets you into Gigantic Spright, which gets you into Spright combo, which is kind of cool. So we're going to see him go ahead and special summon Jet. Jet, I think, added a copy of Smashers there. And then we're going to see Fractal activate its effect now. Going ahead to dump the Karis to the graveyard. No normal summon has been committed here for our Spright player, but opting not to do anything else, setting 4 back row. Once we can assume, you know, we have Revolt back there. We have Smashers, probably an Imperm, maybe a double Imperm called by. And we're going to see our Rikka Duelist here lead with a copy of Con, which is always kind of scary, just leading Con into a board, because Con is a bit of a board breaker against most decks that put up monsters, because you never know if they're going to have something in their hand that allows them to tribute and just use one of your monsters for the free. Things like Snowdrop, Mudon, and Glamour, all very easily accessible cards, played at high copies within the deck. So it looks like nothing in response to the summon. We're going to see him activate Con now to go ahead and set. So this is already going to be a way to crack the board a little bit just by tributing off one of the opponent's monsters. So that's going to go through, tributing that Spright, gigantic Spright for cost, to go ahead and add two, a Rikka and then a plant at the same level. So he's going to go ahead and add the Petal and the Loci. Was a little rough having to commit the normal summon to Primula there. Accidentally dropping a card. We're going to see him go ahead and go to battle phase with the Primula, attack into the defense position Jet, clearing the board, which is kind of important. We'll see him set 4, end phase. There's the Revolt. And we're going to go ahead and see him clear a body and also secure some follow-up. So there's the Shurig. And I imagine Shurig is probably going to banish a random back. Okay, go for a random back row here. I was going to say, getting rid of the Primula is okay because it can turn off Snow Princess since there's no Rikka on field. But I guess trying to snipe a random back row is nice. Or getting rid of Con also maybe would have been a little bit more impactful. But yeah, random sniping one of 4 random back row doesn't seem like the best, I guess. Because you could just hit something that's like, you know, an Imperm in this case, which is like not that great. We'll see him get his searches, and then we'll see him start his turn by the normal summon of Kit. And I imagine we'll see him use Kit here to go ahead and banish 3. There's an Impermanence. And we'll see if there's a response. And it looks like there... maybe? We're going to see him chain Smashers. Smashers are going to go ahead and banish Jet from grave and banish the Kit to banish another random set, which in this case is going to be Dark Ruler. And that Imperm will now miss its target. So we'll go ahead and summon out Rugal. And clearing all of the back row here. Surely going to get rid of the last back row. A lot of them ended up just being kind of bluffs. Double Imperm, double Dark Ruler. The 2 valuable cards are still left in hand. And that of Loci and Petal. And we're just going to see Tri-Brigade just go right into the battle phase. Swing in with Shurig, swing in with Rugal, and we'll see him go ahead and probably pass turn there. Having Rugal on board with Shurig allows him to basically trigger that Shurig effect whenever he deems it necessary. Looks like main phase 2, we'll see Fractal activating its effect to go ahead and send itself from the hand to go ahead and dump Nerval. And Nerval will go ahead and add Kit for some follow-up. Already has committed the normal summon, so we'll see him pass turn there. We're going to see our Rikka player rip into a copy of Princess. We're going to see him normal summon Petal. And looks like on the summon of Petal, since this card does not activate on summon, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is, right? So we'll activate Rugal, bringing out Nerval. This is going to proc the Shurig to go ahead and banish. He will banish the Petal. And then we're going to see him activate Princess in hand. Free extender, just for the absolute freest of free. We're going to see him get Glamour. Glamour's going to go ahead and activate its effect, tributing that Princess's cost, and there's double Judgment ended up being in the back line there. Judgment stopping the Glamour, kind of huge, and that brings us to a Game 3 situation. And you can imagine in Game 3, we're going to see the Rikka deck go first here. And opening hands, we have Die, Talents, Rivalry. Couldn't see the other cards there, but that's all you really need to know is just Die, Talents, Rivalry. Insane opening here. And we're going to see the Dryas Resolve. If we're not going to see any hand traps here to stop, this is going to end in a pretty strong board, able to play around a numerous amount of board breakers. And the deck also tends to be able to play through hand traps pretty well too, especially on hands you start with Unexpected Die, because you can tend to get pretty far off of just a very low cost like play. It's just one card. It's just the normal summon a Die. Normal summon a Loci or activate Die, and you still haven't used any Rikka cards. Ideally, you things have like Glamour, Con, Mudon, etc. to keep playing past those interruptions. So we're going to see him gain the 3. Once you establish sort of what I call like the triple threat board here, you got Healer, Dryas, and Jasmine. He'll gain 300. That will trigger Jasmine's effect, and we're going to see our Tri-Brigade player make a big mistake here. Ashing that Jasmine is so incredibly bad. I think you would have gotten a little bit more value out of just even ashing unexpected die, as much as I don't condone doing that. Yeah, you might not be super familiar with this matchup, so it is what it is. Ash will go ahead and get used on the Jasmine effect to search off the gain. We're going to see him talents him. I think he put back a hand trap, might have been. Wasn't looking at his hand when he ripped out, but still getting to rip a card off with talents there. Insane. He'll use the other effect now of Jasmine to bring out the Petal, and Petal's going to get a Mudon. Mudon's going to go ahead and get into Con, into Glamour, and Glamour's going to get access to Primula and getting access to the Cactus Bouncer, getting into Strenna with the Snow Princess and the Primula to add back the Glamour, and then linking off into Melius. Melius brings back the Seed, link off that Melius and the Seed into Bengal Lancer, normal summon Cactus Bouncer, set 2 and pass turn there. Rivalry. We're going to see him chain Spright Starter, but he can't even do that because I don't think my opponent realized, well, our opponent here realizes that he can't even special summon because of Cactus Bouncer. I don't know how our Rikka player didn't realize this, because he's going to negate the blue by tributing it off, but the blue never should have been on the field anyways, so it is what it is. Rikka takes it there regardless. Yeah, don't forget what Cactus Bouncer does, folks. But yeah, that's going to do it. Last but not least, huge shout out goes to our Divine level channel members who are Pony Start, Cadillacs 84, Justin Lamb, HEH Cyber, and Mango. Thank you guys so much as always for extremely kind and generous support of the channel.